Welcome back, everybody, to the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. We have successfully passed through the very first challenge here in the postseason, and now we move against Philadelphia. They are a very, very good team, good enough for the 2 seed here in the National League, and it's going to be Zach Littell versus Christopher Sanchez on the mound. This is going to be, I think, a very good test for us on where we are in year 2. Let's take a closer look here at the Phillies, and we can kind of have a scouting report. Christopher Sanchez is an 88 overall, 80 clutch. Looks like he's got a high walk rating, high home run rating, so he's pretty good. He's their ace in that starting position. Aaron Nola next is also an 88. Zach Wheeler an 88. Then we move down to the 4 spot with Andrew Painter at 75, and it starts to drop off a little bit at the 5 spot with Tyler Phillips. He's a 71 overall. The bullpen situation for Philadelphia also looks okay, but not as good as their top 3 starters. So Seth Johnson, Clayton Kershaw, who's now a 70 overall, Tanner Banks is 72, so far the highest rated reliever they have. Matt Moore, and this also is very lefty-heavy here in the bullpen. So they've got righty starters, lefty relievers. That's an interesting switch and setup there. Their late-game guys, though, are their best that they've got. Kerkering, Alvarado, and Helsley. 83, 77, and 89 on those ratings, respectively. So if we get deep into these games, it's going to be the end part of the bullpen that's going to give us the most amount of trouble. But that middle part, maybe we can take advantage of there. The lineup that I've set today will have Joey Bart leading off again. This was a successful lineup against a lefty in Game 3, and we'll see if we can repeat that. It's the NLDS, and we are matched up here at Citizens Bank Park against the Philadelphia Phillies, and this is going to be the biggest test that we've had to date with this franchise. We're in year 2, and we're at the end of it. And somewhat unexpectedly, we have made it into playoff contention. We passed through the wild card, and now here, challenging the Phillies. This is going to be a tough one. And this is going to be kind of a litmus test on where we are in the franchise today. In year 2, I did not expect us to hit the playoffs, but we have, and now we've survived the first round. So the question is, okay, well, how deep are we actually going to go? What are the expectations for real? I think for me, right now, I'm happy enough with a poop game. No, just kidding. But I did have to highlight that the poop games are back. They're not dead. The MLB can never kill the poop games. But Joey Bart's going to strike out, flailing low and inside for that one. So anyways, what I mean is that I didn't expect us to hit this point in year 2. We did lose Evan Carter. I don't feel like the starting rotation is as great as it could possibly be, or where I hope and expect it to be moving forward through the years. I just want it to strengthen over time. Right now, it might not be the most optimal setup that we have. Same thing for the bullpen. It's not quite immaculate. I don't think it'll ever be, but there's still plenty of holes in the game of the Pittsburgh Pirates in year 2. And I think that this level of success right here, nobody saw coming. And that should be pretty fair to say, I think. And Ford will drop that into lower center field for out number 3 as they've got him. Zach Littell is going to have a very big challenge, though, because the Phillies, while having great top 3 starters and closers, setup men, whatever, I think that the Phillies offense is obviously a extremely high-caliber offensive production team. And so that's going to be one of the biggest challenges, too, is can our average or even sub-average lineup crack their pitching mechanics? You know, can we break apart their pitchers? Can we drive the pitch count? We get a good double play here against Bryson Stott to clear the bases and get rid of that first pesky base runner. But, you know, how much success are we going to have against their pitching staff? That's to be determined. But the real danger here is going to be how much can we limit the Phillies' offense. And, wow, Kyle Tucker lifting that to center field, and that's going to be 2 outs, but a single home run solo shot by Kyle Tucker, 423 feet to center field, and the Phillies are already on the board. Can't even get out of the first inning. Zach Littell, not our best pitcher, but definitely very skilled and someone we've been able to depend on. And Kyle Tucker just does what King Tuck does. Takes that to center field, and, yeah, that's a souvenir. Marcell Ozuna Then we'll line. Oh, Triolo cannot grab it. Can we still get him at first? Nope. Luck is not going our way so far. All right, now Bryce Harper steps to the plate. Still trying to get out of the first here, and it looks like we will. Yeah, Harper's going to pop that up there for 4 just to the left of home plate. We're out of the first. The Phillies have ruined the poop game, and the scoreboard shows they've got 1. Nick Gonzalez now here in the top of the second, where it's 2-2 against him. Sanchez delivering ball 3 well away. That's an easier take for us. And we've got Jack Sawinski on deck. Savior of the wild card series there. Sawinski overperforming like mad. I'm happy to have him right now, especially as this offense is not quite where I wanted it to be when we finally made the playoff run. Gonzalez will pop out, and now Sawinski will step to the plate with only 1 out. Sanchez about to deliver pitch number 19. Really would love to drive the pitch count, but swinging on the first pitch, it's not going to help us do that. That was just too enticing. I had to go for that. And that's kind of the problem. When you're trying to drive the pitch count, it's very difficult to ignore the quality pitches, where you can get a piece of that and do some damage. It's 2-2 against Max Schumann, though, here, as he's batting in the 7th spot. We've taken quite a few pitches. I think that was 7. And we'll see. Now, pitch number 27 from Sanchez, and he gets us on a circle change. So he's out at the top of the second, and we'll see if Littell can bounce back here in the bottom. Alec Bohm in the 6th spot, and he'll get a piece of that. Triolo cannot react in time, and so Sawinski plays it, but that's a leadoff single. And now Jock Peterson steps to the plate, and we get him inside. He's underneath it for Cruz in center field, and he'll throw that back in. So a non-productive out. That's good for us. And now Brandon Marsh. Swing and miss, and it's 1-1. Marsh, can I get a follow? The Phillies fan has got some pretty wild eyes. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, that's a face that only a game developer can love. All right, so it's 1-2 now against Brandon Marsh. Let's continue. It's Littell delivering. And he will get that down the first base line. A 1-out double as he rounds second. And the Phillies opt to hold the runner at third base. 2 men in scoring position now, 1 out for JT Realmuto. So 1 against him. We miss inside with the sinker, and another fan here, Realmuto. Can I get a selfie? Got some pretty active billboard or poster board fans out here in Philadelphia. And that's weakly grounded for Triolo. Not in time to stop the run from coming home. So we'll take the fielder's choice at first, but the Phillies are now up 2-0. And Trey Turner to Schumann, reacting well. And yes, good, we get the speed. And that's through 2 now, but we're down 2-0. Jared Triolo, weakly grounded, and that's played at first. That's an easy routine out. And now Spencer Horwitz. In the postseason, we've only been able to average 111 with him, and that one will not sneak through either, so that average will drop. 2 routine ground outs to the first baseman to start off the top of the third. And we round it back up to Joey Bard, who will bring it into right field on a line drive single. The inning stays alive, and we've got another hit. O'Neal Cruz now versus Christopher Sanchez, 1-0. And we're underneath that one early on the cutter to pop it into shallow right field. And Sanchez is out of 3 without a score against him. Bryson Stott now at the plate, and he'll swing on the first pitch, and that'll find the gap in left center field. Cruz running after it. Stops it right at the warning track. We'll throw it back in, but that is another hit for Philadelphia. And we got to have our moment here to say, hey, it's not out of hand yet, but we're early. And I don't like the established routine now of allowing hits and runners in every single inning. Let's just try to get through the rest of this one with no more damage. And we'll get Kyle Tucker inexplicably looking in the center of the zone as he watches strike 3. But that's highly beneficial for us. And now Ozuna, he will lift that to right field. Going deep and far back is Sawinski. And we will throw back in, but that runner does advance. So semi-productive, but a chance to strand him here against Bryce Harper. It's 1-2. Just barely misses the sinker. Oh, man. Great pitch, though, from Littell. What does he give him, 2-2? Nope, that misses, and Bryce Harper will take it deep to right field. Sawinski's not even going to move, and that's a 2-run blast. It is 4-0, all Philadelphia here in Game 1. Oh, boy. Not a great start for Zach Littell, and there's another sign. Philadelphia loves Harper. Well, they also love their poster boards, apparently, but here in the postseason, the leashes are a little bit shorter. It's time to make a change. And we're going to bring in Carson Fulmer. He has not made an appearance yet in the postseason, and in the regular season here in 2026, he was just not very good. But down 4-0, I need some length out of him, and we used quite a few of our starters, or not starters, relievers. We used the bullpen quite a bit through those 3 games, and if we can, I want to try to preserve them. This is a 5-game series now, and so we've got a little bit of time. There's no reason to panic here in Game 1, but I do think that not letting this get completely out of hand and leaving Littell in there, letting 4, 5, 6 runs even here in the early stages, as we know we're going to have to contend with a tough pitching staff, I think we can make that call to make the change early and see how much length Carson Fulmer can give to us. We got 2 outs against Real Muto, and we'll get him. Wow, great inning for Fulmer. It's clean, strikeout to end it and get the 3rd out. That's nice, and that's what we want to see. There's 2 outs now here in the top of the 5th, though, for Jared Triolo, and that's a swing and a miss, and this game is progressing pretty rapidly. Top of the 5th is over. Bottom of the 5th now as we've left Carson Fulmer in. He's got plenty of stamina. And Stott lifts that to left center field. It's going back, bouncing before the warning track, and off the wall. Oh, man. So a double and an RBI for Bryson Stott, as there was a base runner. And here is the bullpen situation. We've got Majinski probably 95% ready to go. Dowry Moreta below him is still full, but only 24 stamina, so he's not going to be very good for length. We did burn Hunter Harvey's arm pretty well. He played 3 1/3. Clevenger has 1 1/3, and he's probably not usable today either. Dennis Santana is usable and fully ready to go, but he's our setup man, and he's only got 25 stamina. Bednar has been used a little bit, and he's got 23 stamina. So you see what I mean? Holderman as the closer with 22 stamina. We don't have many options here as far as length. So with it being 5-0, I think we just leave in Carson Fulmer, and we just hope for the best right now. Kyle Tucker is going to get a hard-hit ground ball into center field, and it is now 6-0. No outs still here in the bottom of the 5th, and Marcell Ozuna, nope, that'll go by him, and the runner will advance. This is just a series of unfortunate events, baseball edition now, as this has been a disastrous first half here in Game 1 against Philly. Ozuna now 1-2, and he will also get that through into center field, and Cruz is going to play it. He does have a cannon of an arm as that throw displays, but the runner comes through anyways, and it's 7-0. So I think this game is probably a write-off at this point. Runners on the corners, we do finally get 2 outs, and that's another wild pitch in the dirt. Forward to second, no chance to get him there. Wow, this is really, really falling off, coming off the tracks. And, wow, Fulmer has not been good for us, really, but Littell was no better. And like I said, the state of the bullpen right now is severely compromised. So I think it's time just to leave Fulmer in for another few innings, probably, if we can. And this might be an absolute write-off game. Brandon Marsh to left field, and that will fall. Reynolds can't grab a hold of it first. The throw in, and even Reynolds' arm is not good enough to do it. It's 9-0. And I need to tell him, hey, I'm sorry, we got bad news, but there's really nobody else. We're going to have to sacrifice your ERA here in the postseason, Carson, because we don't have another body to put here. You're it, dude. So you need to stay in as long as you can. Just get outs. And we'll get one there. Off of the swing and miss, way outside the zone. Big, deep breath by Fulmer. And that's really, really tough. 9-0. Unbelievable. 13 hits on us. We've only gotten 2. Make it 3. Joey Bart says we're not done yet. And he will pop that into the left field wall. Let's try to see if that speed will carry us to second. And we do. It's a 1-out double for Joey Bart. At least somebody came to play. We've only gotten 3 hits total. O'Neal Cruz will ground that to first base, and that's out number 2. Bart extends over to third, though, so we're pretty close to scoring. Actually, probably the closest it will get if this continues going the way that it looks like it's going to go. Brian Reynolds, and we'll drop that into right field, and there we go. It does find real estate. Joey Bart comes home. Reynolds going for second. It's offline. Okay, I thought it was going to be a little closer than that, but he's safe. And there we go. An RBI double puts us on the board. We're not getting shut out here in Game 1. Small victories like that, something we need to relish here in a blowout in the making. Murray Ford will foul the sinker off to stay alive. It's 1-2 against him. And Sanchez has just been excellent. We've only managed 4 hits against him. It's been a very, very tough but well-pitched game. And wow, Harry Ford! There we go! The no doubt animation as that goes deep into left center field. 444 feet. Wow, that's a winning slot combination right there, as that's 108 off of the bat. As the Philly fans shout, throw it back. They don't want that on the board, but there we go. Harry Ford coming through in his opportunity as he's in the lineup today against a left-handed pitcher. And it's now 3-9. At least somewhat, more heartening than a complete blowout. Rather not lose 9-0 if we can help it. And Fulmer comes back here for the bottom of the 6th, and it doesn't start really any better. Cruz playing that in center left, but Trey Turner's speed carries him to second, and that's a leadoff double. And this game just continues to get worse and worse. Bryson Stott now. Gonzalez is able to grab that off of the lineouts, and the runner doesn't advance. So we've got a couple more options here, but Kyle Tucker comes back to the plate, 2 for 3 today. And he will get that past Gonzalez. 3 for 3, and Reynolds can't find the track to get there. No, a bad route. And Tucker will have a double and an RBI. It's now 10-3. This game is really a lost cause. And that's really tough. I did have Majinski warming up, but as I do feel like he's going to have some better use for us, I think Dauri Moreta is going to be the guy. I'm going to go ahead and warm him up right now. And with his full energy level and not really a guy that I anticipate depending on, I think it's going to be Fulmer and Moreta for the rest of this game. And Fulmer gets a strikeout. That's his 4th one, though. That's really nice. And 73 pitches now. It's gone well past what Zach Littell did, and that's going to be into the gap as well. Reynolds can't cut it off, and that's a 2-out double and an RBI, 11-3 now. I still want to get him out of this inning because, like I said, this is pretty much just a write-off, a lost cause. Alec Boehm, he'll poke one into center field. That's another run that's going to come through, 12-3. Wow. Hard to keep any sense of, like, this is a moral victory in any way. It's really not, Some of the offense has been there, but big moment for Harry Ford is at least somewhat uplifting. So maybe we take this opportunity here as Matt Moore will walk to the mound for Philly. They'll get their starter out of there. And it's another lefty, so we'll keep the lineup the same. Sawinski will strike out, but anyways, maybe this is a moment to reflect on the level of competition jump that we had. The Arizona Diamondbacks were not a great team. They did make the wild card, and they made it interesting by winning Game 2, but ultimately I felt like our chances were pretty good against them. Philadelphia represents a vastly superior baseball team in all facets, and what I think we're seeing right here is just how much our offense is not up to snuff right now against a deep playoff or World Series contender caliber team. And really, this is kind of what I would expect as we run into the higher competition earlier than I wanted us to be here. We're just not quite ready, is what the offense feels like today. Obviously, there is still the rest of the series to play out, and you never know what's going to happen day to day. But as of right now, I did say this is going to be a kind of litmus test for us to see how we fare against this higher level of competition, and we're just not there. We are going to bring in Dauri Moreta, and he's had only 5 outs to his credit here in the 2026 season as he came up late. But it's going to start just like every other pitcher that's been up to the plate. A leadoff single into left field for Brian Reynolds to field. And JT Realmuto now up to the plate, 0-1 against him. He cracks that well. It gets past Schumann into left field. And Reynolds throws to second. See if he can get a cheeky out there. And nope, he's safe. 2 men on. And now the lineup turns over again for Trey Turner. And we get him inside with a slider. There we go. I'll take that result as Moreta finally gets us an out. Maybe a double play will make this less painful. Swing and a miss by Stott. That's another strikeout. There we go. Moreta's just going to do it all himself. Maybe. Kyle Tucker looking for a triple to complete the cycle, and he's underneath that in the center field for Cruz. So overall, not a bad inning at all from Moreta despite 2 base runners. He is able to get out of it off of 2 strikeouts and a pop-up. All right. Top of the 8th now as we're nearing the end of this game. And O'Neal Cruz, nope. That's a weak line drive bloop over to shortstop. That's out number 1. Brian Reynolds now 2 for 3 today. One of our few bright spots. Lifts that to center field, and it's just a routine pop-up. All right. 2 down now. We've only got a few more outs to play with, and Harry Ford comes back. Big home run earlier to give us 2 runs, and that's a strikeout for him. All right, into the top of the 8th, now to the bottom. 2-2 against Ozuna. And we get him on a circle change. Low and away, he watches. Strike 3. Phillies might be showing a little bit of mercy here. And that's another strikeout. Bryce Harper goes down swinging now. Okay, these guys are going to start getting frustrated, despite winning by 9 runs right now. I think the thing that I figure out here right now is that I've been trying to direct and place the pitches, and they weren't going where I wanted. So then I started delivering pitches here, just choosing the middle of the zone, not moving the cursor at all. See, it stays right there in the middle. But the command is so bad from Ozuna that it ends up going into a pretty nice spot, and we get another strikeout. So some weird game mechanics going on here. And the Phillies will bring in Tanner Banks. He was okay for them through 31 innings in the regular season, not really stellar, but this is definitely a game where you can just put anybody in this position right now. Probably a position player would most likely carry them through to the end of this game. And Gonzalez, though, has a leadoff bloop single into shallow center left field. And Jack Sawinski's at the plate. And that's a ground out. Okay, they're going to try to turn 2. Sawinski going to first, and he's there first, actually. He will leg it out. Good effort there. Appreciate the hustle, despite this game being really sad. And now Max Schumann, 2-1 against him. We get one to hit there, and it's brought down in right field. We're down to our final out now, and it's going to be Jared Triolo with the final opportunity at the plate. 1-0. He hits that to right field, and it's not hit extremely deep. Oh, wow, he can't get it, though, off of the jump. No way. All right, so Triolo with an unexpected double, as they had some problems there in right field. 2 men on, 2 out. Spencer Horwitz hits to shortstop, and yeah, that will do it. 19 speed's not going to get there as we get crushed by the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 1, and maybe we just weren't ready for this moment. I don't know. That is still going to be determined as we've got more play left to go, but a disappointing Game 1 in nearly every facet. I think that Reynolds had a pretty good day. Harry Ford had a big home run. I'm happy to see him have that. We had a good 6th inning against them, but yeah, wow. Ultimately, just a really sad showing and maybe a fraud check kind of scenario. I don't know. Too early to tell. I don't want to get super negative yet, but we get crushed by the Phillies in Game 1. Game 2, we'll see Andrew Abbott versus Aaron Nola, and maybe this is why we needed the advantage of winning the division solidly to avoid the wild card altogether. But that's Game 1.